มหาการุณิโกนาโถตถาคตภักวันบุตตาปัจเจกพุทธอรหันตบริสัทวะภารัตรัตนาบาบาสาเฮบดรบีอัมเบกดรบีอัมเบกะนะโมพุทธายะนะโมธัมมายะนะโมสังขายะเจพิมสังเกโชดังโชกีชกนำลาชังโชปะโดดักนีกับโซเจดังเกจินโซเกเปโซนัมกีโดลาเพนสีสังเคดุปาโชสิมเจนัมกีสัมปาดังโลเจจิตาจิตาวะเสสงทดมงเทกปายโชกีโคโลโคโดโสอุมมานิเปเมหุมอุมาหุมวัชระโคโรเปมาสิเตหุมอุมตาเรตุตเรตุเรโสหะตายถาคติคติปรคติปรสังฆเดโพธิสวาหานะโมบงสือติกามุนิฟัตกราบถวายความpay homage for the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, and respected for the most venerable Dr. Pramahacharya Suthiyano, and respected for the most venerable Pramaha Narinto, and humble greeting to Thanajan Pramaha Vacharin Akkakari, and greeting you all Upasok Upasika, or the lay practitioners. So today I'm gonna talk about the history of Vajrayana Buddhism and the history of Theravada Buddhism also. So because of that, I want to let people who come to watching understand about the history of Theravada and the history of Vajrayana Buddhism. I'm sure many people know that Theravada also one of the great school or one of the Buddhist school, and also Vajrayana Buddhism is one of great school also. But I want to bring all the school close together by studying and understanding the history, or the understand the evolution in Buddhism, because normally religion always changing, changing, but the principle or the main idea not much changing, just change a little bit about, something about the small thing, not the important thing, not the main thing. And after that, I will go through deeply to understand, bring you all to understand about the Gelugpa Buddha tradition, one of the great school from Vajrayana Buddhism. But first of all, we have to understand about Theravada first. So let's start. What about Theravada exactly is? And Theravada Buddhism, as many people know that we have in Thailand, Sri Lanka, Burma, and Cambodia, some part of Vietnam, and Laos, and Burma, and some part of some area of Bangladesh, and also some part of India, such as Arunachal Pradesh, or in Maharashtra state, we have Theravada, and some part in Gaya, or in Bihar state, or in Lumbini, in Kusinara, and maybe right now not only in the Asian country. Of course, now Theravada Buddhism also spread to America and England and some of the European country. All right. So let's start with the origins in ancient India in the 3rd century BC. I brought you back for a long time. So that come from the third Buddhist council. In Thai word we call สังคายนาครั้งที่สาม So in Theravada understanding we count that we have three Buddhist council in India from the Theravada point of view, not from Mahayana point of view. So in Theravada we count that we have the third council. We have the third council, first, second, and third council. But let's start from the third council. The third council of Buddhism under the sponsor or patronage of Emperor Asok of the Mauryan Empire or King Samrana Asoka. Many Indians call King Samrana Asoka. But also he have another name. We can call that Pramahajakapat Asok, Rachawong Maurya, or the Emperor Asoka of Mauryan Empire around 250 BCE. The third council was converted at Paliputra, of purity, the Sangha, and formalized scripture into Pali canon. Absolutely. For the third, remember that the sponsor, the big sponsor, he was a king, King Samrana Asoka, and the president, I can say that the president of monk we call Pra Mokkali Buddhisathera. And that time we have one book we call one of the great book that Kathavatu is one of book that arrived or born at the third council. So Kathavatu is one of the part of Abhidhamma. So from the third council, that after that we have Dhammatutta. I'm not support to say missionary. I'm not exactly feel good with that word, because missionary, that word come from Christian. So we should say that Dhammatutta, very directly word. Many Sri Lanka scholar, when they talk about, sometime I heard that when they try to talk about the Buddhism, they might not say Buddhism. Because if we look the word Buddhism, Christianism, Sikhism, the last word is sum mean sometimes perhaps create more problem to understand that. But in academic way it's okay, but we have to understand more, not only understand only Buddhism, Sikhism, only Islam. Because some Sri Lankan scholar, they might not call Buddhism, they call Buddha Sasana, and that's it. So I request you all, if you want to talk something about, Buddhism, just call Buddha Sasana. And after that, the follower or, the Western people who love to understand, they will understand what about Buddha Sasana. Yeah, finally they will understand Buddha Sasana. Don't worry. We have to have the technical term from our own language, our own religion. Don't try to copy from Christian. We own civilization, and our civilization is very old, more than Christian, right? In the history, Buddhism or Buddha Sasana, I can say that, is very, very long history and very rich history. Christian come after, Muslim come after. So we have to proud that we are Buddhist. We have to proud that we are Chao Phut. No master which Buddhist tradition that you belong to, either Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana, or Soka Gakkai, or Nichiren, or um, any kind of form of Buddhism. Yeah. But first we have to proud about our history, that we have very long history and very rich, and very rich. We have very long civilization about Buddhism. We have to proud that. Look at Ajanta, look at Aurora, look at all the Buddha caves in Maharashtra, or that in Tamil Nadu also. So proud of that, then you will learn how to take care or think about Buddhism. We learn to be proud, but doesn't mean we have a lot of proud, not trying to humble, not like that. I mean, I can say if you don't like proud or pride, we can say learn to be self-confident about Buddhist or about Buddha Sasana. I can say that. So the history that will make you understand and proud of that also. So let's see, the third Buddhist council, we have many great things arise and born at that time, such as we have Dhammadutta, right? We have Dhammadutta arise, and second we have Mahinda Thera. It's very, very important, because Mahinda Thera, he was a son of King Samrana Asoka or Emperor Asoka. He was the son and he came to Sri Lanka. I can say that without Mahinda, no Buddhism in Sri Lanka. And another, we have Sona and Uttara were sent to Suvarnabhumi. Alright. So Suvarnabhumi can be Sri Lankan, can be Burmese or Thailand. So only that area, Suvarnabhumi. A lot of gold at that time, very rich resources in that area. So we call Suvarnabhumi. The land of gold is generally identified with maintained Southern Asia. So, alright, Suvarnabhumi not only. Some people say that Suvarnabhumi not only Thai and Burma, and can be all the south of Southeast Asia. And if we have time, please try to read and understand about what about Buddhism in Southeast Asia. Because in Southeast Asia, not only Theravada, I can say that. Because we found, statues of Vajrapani, Padmapani underground, or in Sunmo or Thanajan Buddha temple or Jan Buddha Thasa, we found Avalokitesvara statues underground, underground of near his temple in Chaya district. We found Avalokitesvara statues. So that means that showing not only Theravada arise or at this place in Southern East Asia, especially in Thai, right? Because we found many Mahayana statues too, right? So now we have to study something and become closer between different Buddhist traditions. Actually, we are close, but the human understanding, human studying something, make a lot of distance, make a lot of obstacle because of our identity. We want to remind our identity, our egos, so sometimes we are not come to the right way, come to the true way. We have a lot of illusion on our study, on our Buddhist study sometimes. I feel that. Alright, and let's see. Then come back to understand about Sri Lanka, because I can say without Sri Lanka also Theravada Buddhism difficult to grow and spread around the Southeast Asia. Because the first country that Theravada arrived is Sri Lanka. From the son of King Samarasoka, he is Mahinda Thera, right? And one of Bhikkhuni also. Yeah, but I want to mention more about Mahinda Thera. And we have Bhikkhuni also, alright? Bhikkhuni that start from India to Sri Lanka. And then we have Bhikkhuni in Sri Lanka at that time. Let's come back to Sri Lanka. I can say Sri Lanka is a headquarters of Theravada Buddhism in the 3rd century BCE to 12th century BC. 12th century CE, sorry. Preservation of Pali Canon. Sri Lanka is preservation of the Pali Canon. Sri Lanka become the global college, global university for Theravada Buddhism. During the 1st century BCE at Alukvihara, the Pali Canon was committed to writing for the first time. So we have Pali word, writing on the first time in Sri Lanka. And remember that Pali from Bihar state or from Makot or Makatha. Right now we call Bihar state. Before, in the Buddha time, we call Makot or Makatha. And we had commentary by Puttakosa, Visuddhimagga, Visuddhimagga that written by Most Venerable Visuddhimagga and Vimuddhimagga, Most Venerable Niruddha. Alright? And we have Samantapasadikara that written by Bhante Most Venerable Visuddhimagga that Samantapasadikara that written by Bhante Puttakosa. In the 5th century CE, the scholar Puttakosa combined major Pali commentaries such at the Visuddhimagga, alright, and standardizing the Theravada doctrine. In Visuddhimagga is very, very standard scripture for the Theravada. I'm talking about commentary. Because in Visuddhimagga, the importance of Visuddhimagga, as I understand, is that mention about Sila, Samadhi, and Panya, or Traisika, or they have 40 the way to practice. Practice meditation. We have 40 techniques for practicing about meditation that showing on Visuddhimagga. And we have the model of Southern Asia in Sri Lanka Theravada. In Sri Lanka Theravada established a pure monastic lineage, such as Mahavihara tradition, that later Southern Asia kingdom thought to import to reform their own monastic order. Okay, Mahavihara tradition. It is the first model and first example of Buddhist temple of Theravada, or the monastic lives of Theravada Buddhism. That started from Mahavihara. And remember that at that time in Sri Lanka we have three main Buddhist schools. We have Abhaygiri, Abhaygiri Vihara, and
Chetawan Vihara and Mahavihara. Three of main Buddhist school is very strongly in Sri Lanka at that time. You know, Abhaikiri Vihara is something close to Sanskrit tradition, something close to Mahayana Buddhism. But the book that we call Vimuttimagga, that come from the Abhaikiri side, and Vimuttimagga come first, and second we have Visuddhimagga. Vimuttimagga, if I'm not wrong, that written by Most Venerable Niruddha, and let's see, Vimuttimagga come first from the Abhaikiri, and Abhaikiri is close to Sanskrit tradition. And before Panteputtakosa wrote Visuddhimagga, he also went to talk something about Abhaikiri monks at that time. And then he wrote Visuddhimagga after Vimuttimagga. And he wrote an offer to Mahavihara, Mahavihan, one of the main Buddhist Buddhist monk group, I can say that. Alright, then expansion into Southeast Asia from India, from the time of King Samran Asoka or Emperor Asoka, and he sent the son, name is Mahinta, and one of Bhikkhuni, I'm not sure exactly. I'm not sure. Let me check the name. I cannot remember because I didn't try to forget about Bhikkhuni, the name of Bhikkhuni, but I remember that the son of the daughter of King Samran Asoka also came to, if I'm not wrong, Bhikkhuni Sanghamita Theri, Mahinda Thera and Sanghamita Theri came to Sri Lanka and established the Buddhism. And then we have the Pali writing at that time, and also we have very strong Buddhist temples at Mahavihara, Chetawan Vihara, and Abhaikiri Vihara. And after that, many scholars learn from Sri Lanka and try to impact Buddhism, Theravada Buddhism from Sri Lanka to Southeast Asia. So Theravada Buddhism reached Southeast Asia in wave, initially competing with Mahayana Buddhism and Hinduism before becoming the domain and tradition between the 11th and 4th century. Maybe I don't have time to talk about the Vajrayana evolution now. Just talk only Theravada, take a lot of time too. It's okay. I will talk the next time. So understand Theravada first. And then, Myanmar is one of early contact. The Mon people in lower Myanmar embraced Theravada early on. And Bhagat Empire, Bagan Empire, the 11th century King Anawatra of Bangan converted to Theravada Buddhism under the guide of the Mon monk Sin Arahant. He unified Myanmar and established the Theravada at the state religion, building thousands of pagoda. See, Theravada is very strong now in Southeast Asia, in Myanmar first. Myanmar is very, very old modern Thai, I can say that, I think. For the Theravada, I'm talking about Theravada. And for Thailand, Theravada period start from Theravada period. When the Buddhism come to Thailand, that started from the Theravada period. In the 6th century to 10th, 11th century, early Mon influence of kingdom in central Thailand. Mon people come and practice form of Theravada alongside Hinduism. Alright, at that time we have Hinduism already. Right? We have Shivalung, we have Yoni. We can find in south of Thailand and maybe some part of western side of Thailand, some middle part of Thailand too. And let's see, sometimes I feel that maybe Mahayana and Vajrayana come first. In the history, Mahayana and Vajrayana come first to Thailand. And then the king loved Theravada and invite a venerable from Nakhon Si Thammarat at that time, under the king of Tarpaulin king, invited Buddhist monk from Sri Lanka tradition to Sukhothai period, or Sukhothai kingdom. And then Buddhism strong in Sukhothai. But let's see, Sri Lanka tradition start first in Nakhon Si Thammarat province, or in under the king of we call Tarpaulin. And if you go to the northern side, a lot of Sri Lanka Buddhist tradition and culture, showing in the northern side of Thailand. Because the Theravada come after, but very strong, because king support, Okay, let's talk about the Sukhothai kingdom in the first, second, and third century. 13th century. Sukhothai kingdom in the 13th century. King Ram Khamhaeng invited Sri Lanka monk from Nakhon Si Thammarat. Let's see. As I mentioned you already. Invited Sri Lanka monk from Nakhon Si Thammarat to at that place, the Lanka, the tradition of Lanka Wamsa, or Lanka Wong. In Thai word we call Lanka Wong. In English we call Lanka Wamsa. And tradition in Sukhothai, let's see, from the Nakhon Si Thammarat, from the south, commenting Theravada at the nation faith. The main form, the main Theravada became a form of Buddhism in Sukhothai. And let's see, Ayutthaya and Ratanakosin eras, Theravada was integrated with royal legitimacy, law and culture, leading to major state, support monastic reform in the 19th century under the King Rama IV or King Mongkut. King Rama IV. We have something reform about Buddhism. Let's see, Cambodia. Cambodia, the transition from Hinduism, Mahayana Buddhism to Khmer Empire, famous for Angkor Wat, was historically Hindu and Mahayana Buddhist. In the 13th century to 14th century, through influence from neighboring Mon and Thai kingdom as well as Sri Lankan monk, the general population embraced Theravada due to accessible teaching and emphasis on individual salvation. By the 14th century, it became the state religion under the king of Siddhavaman, Varaman, the great king of Cambodia, beside of Thailand, Myanmar, Thai, Sri Lanka. We are very strongly about Theravada Buddhism. And let's talk about Lao. Lao in Lang Wang Empire, if I'm not wrong, sorry. 14th century, King Phanam unified Lao and established Theravada Buddhism as state religion with help of the Khmer scholar and monk who brought straight texts and the Prabang Buddha image. Oh, we have very strong scholar who come to helping Lao to establish the Buddhism. So I thought at the time, Cambodia monk also very strong. Even right now also I have seen many Cambodian monks who graduate from Western University. They are very strong in English and very strong academic, until now. Okay, let's see the historical summary table. India that started from 3rd century BCE from the king of empire Asoka, convert third consul, initiate overseas missions, and then become Sri Lanka, then become Myanmar, become Thailand, in Cambodia and Laos. So Sri Lanka that we have Buddhism around 3rd century BCE, and for Myanmar we have 11th century, for Thailand 13th century. That start that from the time Dharawadi period, when Buddhism come to Thailand. Alright, this is the history of Theravada Buddhism. So for next time I will talk more about the Vajrayana Buddhism. I will talk a little bit before come to the end. So let's see the origin and evolution in India 5 to 12th century CE. So let's see a little bit about the Theravada that started from 3rd century BCE. But for Vajrayana that started from the 5th to 12th century. So always His Holiness Dalai Lama called Theravada as the elder school. Elder school, elder brother. And when we have many functions in Dharamshala, in Dalai Lama temple, Dalai Lama always lets Theravada monks chanting first, because Theravada monk is Pali tradition and very old tradition, and elder school, His Holiness always respected to Theravada monk. He is really respect, because from the Mahayana side, Tantra side, they view, when they look at Theravada monk, they feel that like the Buddhist monk in the Buddha time, the way of life is very simple. When Thanajan, when His Holiness Dalai Lama came to Sonmok at that time, and he met Most Venerable Buddhaghosa, and he feel, Ajahn Buddhadasa like Arahant, like Buddhist monk who live in the Buddha time. Everything simple, but His Holiness still have bodyguard, but Ajahn Buddhadasa doesn't have bodyguard. Alright. So His Holiness Dalai Lama at that time came to Sonmok, he feel very amazed to Thanajan Buddhadasa. Very good memory, right? And let's see a little bit about Vajrayana from India to Tibet. So Vajrayana was started from 5th century. Extension of Mahayana Vajrayana evolved from Mahayana philosophy, because Vajrayana developing from Mahayana philosophy, integrating esoteric. Esoteric, this is one important word for the Buddhist study, because esoteric means secret Buddhism, secret teaching. So for that, they don't talk in public. We call esoteric or พุทธศาสนาสายลับพุทธศาสนาลับหรือคำสอนลับ so this is a one form that we call tantric practice, mandala, mantra and advanced visualization technical aim at achieving reply enlightenment. All right, and for academic hub, it influences in monastic university across northern India, notably Nalanda and Vikramshila. And the Mahasiddha, we have two systems. One system is university, one system is monastic university. Not only simple monastic. Okay, when we're talking about Tibetan side, should have monastic university across northern India, notably Nalanda and Vikramshila. And then we have the other system we call the Mahasiddhas, tantric master. Mahasiddha means tantric master. Play, developing esoteric lineage transmitted secondary from master to discipline. So you can't remember who is Mahasiddha, so you can study about Guru Padma Sambhava or Guru Rinpoche, or from Gaju lineage, from Mapa Tilopa Kampopa Naropa or Papa. This is the master lineage of Gaju or Gaju tradition. So they are Mahasiddha. Those are people, they not live in a monastery, but they wear the white robe and very long hair. They are trying to renounce themselves from the secular worlds. So that kind of people we call Mahasiddha. So Mahasiddha mean tantric master. Okay, I will a little bit put more information before stop. So the first lineage of Vajrayana Buddhism to Tibet, that's what Yingwapa period, started from the 8th century CE. Royal king that we call Tritsong Tenzin invited Indian master Santa Raksita and Padma Guru Padma Sambhava or Guru Rinpoche to express Buddhism in India, in Tibet. At that time we have the first temple we call Samye Monastery that started in Tibet, integrating with Bon also. And that before Buddhism we have Bon or Pern or Trung Pern or Bon Po. We have many names actually. So Padma Sambhava successful integrated tantric practice with somatic tricks with the lineage of Yogi or Mahasiddha, So many Tibetan scholars they thought at first Satrarikita, he was a great monk, he was scholar monk, not subset when he came to Tibet and tried to try to address Buddhism in Tibet, not successful. And after later on, Guru Padmasambhava, he have something about magic side, I think, and he is very strong magic. I mean the white magic, and try to, occupy the Bon pole, the old belief in Tibet at the time. Yeah. And the Nyingma lineage is first lineage of Tibetan Buddhism in Tibet. Is initial transmission explicit the Nyingma Asian tradition. So Nyingma means Asian or old school, the oldest school of Tibetan Buddhism. And the second definition, formation of main school 10 to 14th century CE. So we will talk for the next time. I think I should stop from now. And next time we will start from Atisa Dipankara. He was a great master from Bangladesh, who was a scholar from Nalanda University. So thank you for all of you to pay attention and be patient with me with my English not so strong. And thank you so much. So I hope you will grow in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. ภวตุสัพพมังคลังรักขันตุสัพพเทวตาสัพพพุทธานุภาเวนะสัพพธรรมานุภาเวนะสัพพสังฆานุภาเวนะสัทธาโสธีภวันตุเต